There we go. So welcome in those of you who are on YouTube. We're starting in downward facing dog today. Take a little stretch through the shoulders, press through the heels. This will be another 45-minute classroom here. Come forward into a high plank position and just feel the piston action in the shoulders. Let's bring the knees to the floor so you can more fully integrate the shoulder blades on the back and off. Shoulder blades on the back. And what we're working towards is to keep the ear, the space between the shoulder and the ear, the same. So this is, I call this flossing the shoulder. We're getting the feel for where the shoulder, arm bone is in the shoulder socket. Flossing the shoulder. So come somewhere right in between where you feel the humerus bone, that's your upper arm bone, is congruent into the ossa, the cavity of your shoulder blade that's sticking out. Turn the toes under and come back into a downward facing dog. So freedom means we have balance in all areas, physically, mentally, emotionally. And in a physical sense, we can almost see imbalances when they happen. Like in a cat-cow, for instance, we round the back and then we balance it with the concavity. We're working both directions. Yoga is a great way of connecting oppositions and creating more harmony in our body. Let's pause here in a flat spine, come forward a little bit with the torso, bend the elbows into chaturanga. So you bring the hips to the floor, forehead, and a low cobra is peeling the arm bones back, the chest forward, and the head is very neutral. So you don't want to tip it up. You just want to be looking straight forward with a natural curve in the cervical spine. And lift the hands and support this lift, the weight, in your upper back. So by squeezing the shoulder blades on the back. Even more. Tops of the feet down, point your big toe back. One more breath. And exhale, release. Shake your hips side to side. Let's try that one more time. If you feel it in your low back, here's the little trick for you. You'll want to pull the low belly in to begin with and get the sit bones to extend towards the heels. That's going to be very useful. Then the hands next to the chest. And you press into the mat and lift only as far as you can hold by bringing the hands off the ground. So we want to get that strengthening of the upper back. Gives us more freedom in the chest. And it will help our arm balancing. Then plant the hands again. Let's press all the way up and take a downward facing dog. Walk your feet wider. So you're going to take your feet wide as your mat and then walk your hands back towards your feet. We'll take a Uttanasana hinge. So the hips move back, the toes are going to lift. It might be a slight bend in the knee. If your knees are knocking towards each other or they're quite a ways in from your ankles, roll to the outer edge of your foot and press down so you create an archway in the feet, or accentuate your arch that's there. Keeping that strength in the feet, bring the hands to the knees, bending the hips so you have, as you lift the heart's, the head is above the heart, and then we come together. Feet standing at the back of your mat. I'm going to face you for this first one. Inhale, we'll take a Ardha Surya Namaskar, or a half Sun Salutation. The arms come overhead. Exhale, take a forward fold. Inhale to a extension or half lift. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Pushing the feet into the earth, palms together, and hands at your heart center. Let's take a second one of those. Inhale, the arms overhead. Exhale, a forward fold again. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, draw the forehead towards the shin and push down through the feet. Inhale, rise up, arms overhead, palms together, and hands come to the heart center. Inhale again. This will be a series A. Exhale, forward fold. Now we're at the back edge of your mat, if you are. Inhale, walk the hands forward as you lengthen out through the crown of the head. Exhale, just press the heels back into a full downward facing dog. Inhale, come into the top of a push-up. Exhale, the knees come to the earth. Bend the elbows, broaden the shoulders, and lower down. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths in downward facing dog. So in yoga, or the philosophy here in life, is that we meet ourselves in life the way we meet ourselves on the mat. Let's walk your feet forward. So recognize what self-talk you're giving yourself in class today. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, drop in and down. You know, if we're bored or lackadaisical, inhale, come all the way to standing. Palms together, hands at your heart. Or if we're pushing too hard and trying to make ourselves do something that our body doesn't want to do, just look at that. Or if you're just really enjoying the journey and all of its bumps and obstacles. Inhale, let's reach up. Exhale, forward fold. More awareness is more freedom in our life. Inhale, half lift. Let's step both feet back, one at a time if you'd like. Downward facing dog. Inhale to the top of a push-up. So we're repeating Surya Namaskar A. Knees come to the earth, bend the elbows, and lower down halfway. Inhale, low cobra, and if you want to take the hands off and get that squeeze to the shoulder blades, awesome. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in downward facing dog. You could just taking a little time here, sweetness, to stretch the whole back side of the body as the front side is strong and stable. Engage the knees through your quadriceps and lift the toes so your shins are working. Do pull the thumbs towards each other so you feel the front of the body working. And step one foot, then the other forward. Inhale to a lift. Let's bring the hands to the shins so we really get a nice tabletop to the back. And take it in and down. Inhale all the way to standing. Reach the sky, palms together, hands to the heart. And we'll take a series B, the bend in the knees. We're taking the hips back. So if you want to just place your hands here in the crease of the hip, we can assist that bend, and it looks the same as the bend in the knee and the same bend in the ankle. So we have a zigzag going on. Arms are going to come overhead or possibly in a goalpost. Let's try either one and see what works for you. If you'd like, you could bring the hands to the waist. It's totally up to you. We are seated for a long time here. Come out when you want to, or stay and really work the quads if that feels good to you. One more deep breath in. Exhale. Bend or straighten the legs, into the hips and come down. Inhale, half lift. I want to try a little hop here. If you want to try it with me, you can. I plant the hands, come up onto the balls of the feet. And I'm just going to give a little spring back to and all the way to the back edge of the mat. Okay, if you can walk, you can walk back as well. Then come into the top of a push-up. And the option here is to keep the knees off the ground. If you'd like to take them back on, you can. Either way, the torso comes forward if the elbows bend. And if you missed last week's challenge class, inhale, lift into Ardha, Mukha Svanasana, exhale, downward facing dog. We worked Chaturanga a little different ways. So there's some videos out there that really break Chaturanga down. We did a supine Chaturanga actually to help facilitate, to help integrate back muscles when you're doing the Chaturanga. Go ahead and step the right leg forward, top of the mat. Press your back heel to the floor. Let's take a warrior one. Arms come straight overhead. If you'd like, experiment here, the arms coming wide like a goalpost, or even hands to the waist to reduce the pose slightly. Then straighten the front leg. Inhale, exhale, and the shin forward again. Inhale, and keep a lot of energy through that back, outer edge of the back foot. As you keep that energy, you can pull the front heel forward, and that gives you a deeper stretch. Arms come up, and exhale, hands to the floor. Step all the way back. So we're going to go straight to that Chaturanga, the high plank position, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Alternatively, if it feels good to you for a cobra pose would be an option. Let's step the left leg forward. Right outer edge of the foot's going to spin to the floor. And raise the arms again overhead. And of course, you've got some options for goalposts. If this creates tension in the neck and less freedom, bring the elbows open. In fact, experiment a little, and you're going to feel less pressure in the neck with the elbows wide. It's probably going to be better for some. Breath. Straighten the front leg, and then take it back into a bend. Another straight leg. Bend, reach the arms high. Inhale, exhale, hands to the floor. Step all the way back, high push up, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pay attention, pressing down through the tops of the feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Yes. 3 breaths. We're going to take the jump back in reverse now, jumping forward. So we'll have a little spring-like action. To do that, lift your heels high to the sky, coming onto the balls of the feet, and then bend your knees and take the hips back. So you're creating a little spring here. When you're ready, you can spring forward and just see where you're, experiment a little bit. See where your feet land. They might come halfway or all the way or a quarter of the way. It's all good. Jump all the way to the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees deeply, weight back in the heels. Inhale, Utkatasana. And exhale, stand tall, Tadasana. Take that series one more time. This time with flow of the breath. So if your breath is faster, you'll move faster. If it's slower, you'll move slower. Keep the pace and the timing with the rhythm of the breath. And I'll call it with my rhythm, of course. And if you're ahead, great. No worries. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step or jump back. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'm adding a lift for the right leg here. Inhale, step forward, top of the mat. Press your back heel down. Bring both arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, hands to the floor. Keep exhaling as you chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, left leg, inhale, comes to the sky, exhale, step forward. Inhale, raise up. Warrior one, exhale, hands to the floor, chaturanga. As you step back, bend the elbows, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ooh, you made it. Your heart rate should be building here. 2 more breaths, 1 more. We're going to get ready to pounce like a tiger. So come up onto the balls, the path of your feet. Bend the knees and spring forward. Feet to hands, inhale. A lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. So we come to chair pose, bending the knees, and then exhale, hands to your heart center. And you made it. Very good. Interlace the fingers and let's take a rotation through the wrist. It can be difficult when we're doing all those chaturangas. We're coming up and down and on and off our hands. The strengthening of the forearm comes from the pressure of the pads of the fingers into the mat. And sometimes we get lax on that. So be aware, or just in your mind's eye when we come back to the floor. We really want to be strong with the fingers. So coming back to the top of your mat, step the left leg back. Coming into a crescent lunge here. High onto the ball of the foot. So the heel's not pressing back and it's not too high, but it's the normal 90-degree bend in the back of the ankle. And the arms come overhead. We're going to crescent also to the right. So you'll take a hold of the left wrist. And as you press your back heel to the back wall, your right arm, or left arm's coming up and over. Come back to center, releasing the hands. Open to the sky on an inhale. Exhale, we're going to exhale through the mouth, cross the arms and come up again. Inhale, saying the word shoo. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale is on the downbeat. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Come center, press your back heel, warrior 2. Nice. And bring the left hand to the shin, the right arm. Coming up to the sky, straighten your front leg. On an inhale and exhale, we'll take it back to a perpendicular. So knee right over ankle. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend a little deeper. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Coming into warrior 2 and side angle, warm to the thigh. Left arm comes straight over the ear. We're using the whole body to feel the stretch on the left side. See if you can come parallel with the front side. And come all the way back up, straighten the front leg, palms together. Inhale, exhale, bend into warrior 2. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, come up. Hold warrior 2, just the arms, hold Trikonasana, just the arms come down. Then we'll shift at the hip. So the hips actually move off center. A little rotation there, and the hand comes down to the shin. Ooh, that's a strong stretch for the inner thigh. Our first one of the day, so that's why it feels so strong. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, we're going to rotate through the torso. Inhale, open again. 3 of these, exhale, rotate. 22, inhale, lift. Exhale, rotate, bend the front knee, come to the floor, and pop your back heel off, low lunge. Rotate through the right side, right arm comes up. Hold 3, 2, One, bring the right hand to the floor and step back into a downward facing dog. Inhale to the top of a push-up, exhale, lower down, chaturanga. All the way to the floor. And we're going to hold here. And all the way to the floor. So we'll do the second side in just a moment. So bring the hands at the base of the spine, interlace the fingers. We'll just take a moment to open the chest here. Raise the legs, lift the heart forward, and take your gaze at the floor just beyond the top of your mat. Now keep your head in that position and look up towards your third eye. Don't move the head, just the eyeballs. Very good. Keep the length in the cervical spine. Lift the legs, inhale a little higher. Exhale a little longer. Inhale and exhale, release. Plant the hands. Push your way back up into downward facing dog. And step the left leg to the top of the mat. Up into a crescent lunge. So your right heel is going to stay off the ground at about a 90-degree bend. Inhale the arms overhead. Holding on to the right wrist, lean to the left, crescent to the left. Big, full crescent. Opening through the side body. Strong back leg, that's where the power comes from. Release the hands, come back to that vertical position with the torso, and open the chest. Inhale, exhale, forward. Inhale, open, exhale, again, powerful flow. Inhale, exhale, 3 more. 2. Again. Hold high. Coming into warrior 2, spin the back heel. Keep your front knee tracking over your second, third toe. So we're heel to heel in our alignment. We bring the right arm down and the left arm comes up. And we're reversing the warrior. It's super strong, building a foundation so we have more freedom in the upper torso. Straighten the front leg as you push into the ball of the foot. And then bend the front leg as you pull the heel towards midline. And then again, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend and come back into a warrior 2. So the torso rights itself. And then we'll bring it into side angle, arm to the thigh. Right arm reaching over to the ear. Holding 3, 2, and 1, right back up. In the sky, straighten the front leg, bring the palm together. Inhale, exhale, back into warrior 2. Typically your gaze is going to be over your middle finger, straight over the top of the hand. One more time, inhale. Exhale, bend, and then bring the arms overhead as you straighten the leg. Just the arms come out. Shift the hip towards the wall behind you, and then reach the hand to the shin. Right arm's going to come up, and we'll just hold this for a couple of breaths. That feels good on the side to even it out. It's already 2 breaths, 1 more. And then we're taking the arm and rotating through the waist, so the chest. Arm opens, chest opens, and then exhale. Bring the hands together, and we rotate slightly through the waist. Inhale, open. Exhale, little rotation here. And inhale, open. Exhale, rotation. Last time, inhale, open. Plant the hands on either side of the foot as you bend the knee and come into a low lunge. Smooth transitions. Open into a twisting low lunge with the left arm coming up now. If you want to stretch the arm overhead, you can, or straight up to the sky, either way. Keep the back leg super strong. And then bring both hands down, step it back into a plank, chaturanga. All the way to the earth. Hold here. We're going to take a second Shavasana. This time keep your hands even with the chest. We'll peel the shoulders away from the floor and shrug the shoulder blades onto the back as you squeeze the elbows. It's not to touch the sides of the body. It's actually just a squeeze, and it should be a natural coming in at the shoulder blades, and then you'll lift into a low cobra. Lift the hands away and stretch the arms in jet airplane. Now bring the feet, tops of the feet up with a straight leg. As much as possible, engage the knee upward with your quadricep, and then push out through the heel and the toes to lengthen the leg. Inhale, lift. A little higher. Exhale, hold. Inhale, lift a little higher. And exhale, release. Back down. Shake the hips. Good. Bend the knees and clasp the right foot. We're holding the right foot. We're going to draw the right heel towards the glute. Right heel towards the glute. Okay, if that's a pretty open quadricep for you, I'm going to show you another progression. If you're feeling tightness and the heel is way far away or you're not grabbing the ankle, stay where you're at. That's perfectly legit. So if you need a little more, I'm just going to come up onto the forearm. Flip the hand around so the shoulder is now opening, and we're pressing the heel towards the glute. That's a very strong quadricep opener. Awesome. So necessary, all that we just did. Okay. Gentle release of the right leg. We'll take the left side. So forearm is crossing at a 90 degree or 45 degree angle. If you're on the forearm, otherwise the forehead's on the forearm. Here, we'll reach back with the left hand to the foot and gently draw the heel to the glute. Press the top of the knee into the mat. And then draw the pivot bone down towards the floor. And again, you have options. Coming up a little bit higher. Hold. And when we get so tight in our body, we get more tight in our short with our temper, short with our patience, short with the things that matter. We want to develop a wonderment and curiosity about how open we can be and release some of the tension from the body that doesn't show up as an outburst of our emotion. We're going to release that one. And then we'll take both legs into a full Dhanurasana or upward bow. So laying the head to the earth and both knees, reach and clasp one or both ankles. So it's your choice here. 5 breaths. So if you want to take 2.5 breaths or 2 breaths on with one leg and arm here. So it's a half bow. Then you can switch halfway in between. And press the feet into the hand, lift the torso. It's probably already 2 breaths if you started a little bit before I got through talking. Squeeze the inner thighs. Switch to the other side or stay here if you have both feet. We'll have another couple breaths, 5 in all. Really work as you're in here. So we're not static, but there's some dynamic pull and push going on. Pulling with the hands, pressing with the feet, and then release. All the way down. And take the hands to your side. And press into hands and knees here. Good, all the way back into child's pose. Super neutral spine. If that's too much for you, You can keep it up into more of a puppy pose. So we stretch the upper thoracic region and leave the low back alone. 2. This is a little more neutral as compared to our back bend. Then going into a Malasana. So experiment there, the degree at which you have mobility going from one to the other. One more breath. We'll come back. From hands and knees, we'll just take it into a tiger dog and then walk your feet to your hands. I'm going to be in the middle of the mat now. I'll show this once from the side and then I'll do it from the front too. So the feet are turned out. Actually, let me show it to you from here. Feet are turned out. You bring the elbows to the knees and bend in like a half squat. From here, push into the floor and reach the arms to the sky. It's an inhale. On an exhale, we'll come back to that start position, elbows to knees. Inhale, press up to the sky. Exhale, elbow to knees. You got it. Inhale, press up to the sky. Exhale, hold elbows to knees. Bring your right elbow inside the right knee. Drop the hips a little bit. Left elbow inside the left knee. Drop the hips a little more. And now we're in full Malasana. From here, we'll take the hands to the floor instead of the sky. Lift the hips to the sky. Bring the feet parallel. Inhale to a flat back or more elevated torso. Exhale, a forward fold. Inhale to elevate the heart slightly. Exhale, heels in, hands on the ground, they never leave. Bend the knees, they come straight over second and third toe, and you're back in Malasana. That's the movement. Just follow it with me again. Hands plant, heels parallel, so feet turn parallel. Lifting the heart and head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, heels in, toes out, and we come back into a Malasana. Twice more with the hips elevated, heels parallel, lift. Exhale into forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, heels in, toes out. Last one, lift the hips, inhale. Feet parallel. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, Malasana. And pause here. Elbows up into the knees, knees and the elbows. You can stay here or you can join me for an arm balance. We'll get our tiger claws out. Plant the hands to the mat. Lift up onto the balls of the feet. Shift forward and hold. Okay, there's no reason to bring the toes off the ground. But the shift, I don't want the knees here and the hips back. That's not building any muscle at all. So the bend in the elbow, the knees, and the weight comes forward until your fingers have to press to keep you from stopping from tipping forward. When you feel that energy, hold it for 5 breaths. That's where you build strength. That's where you find the freedom to lift the feet. Okay, strength from within builds freedom. From without. So already 5 breaths, bring the feet to the floor. Come to a seated position, take your legs forward. And we'll relax the wrist. Let's take an open and closed palm. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale and exhale. Bring the blood back into the hands, releasing the wrists. Double time the movement in the hands. And keep the breath the same. And then double time the hands again. Keep the breath the same. And then shake the wrists out. Wow, that was much better today. All right, so with the knees a little bent here, we're going to flex the toes up to the sky, dig the heels in, and then you'll lean forward so the hip comes to the thigh, the rib to the thigh, and the chest to the thigh, and the hands reach forward. So wrapping the toes or the hands around the toes and then stepping on the gas pedal. I'm going to give you a little stretch in the back, all the way down to the hip area. Let's scoot the hips back. So if you have the mobility and you'd like to stretch the legs more, you can straighten the legs by taking the hips back or taking the heels forward. And maintaining no gap between the hip and the rib. So, which means I'll likely have a little bend in the knee. Okay, and then until the cooperation of the hamstring, which might be tight, or the low back. And if the hamstrings are tight and the knees are not coming to the floor, wrap your elbows around or a fist and then push the knee in, the back of the knee into your hand. So you could be as high up as you like. I'll show it with the elbows coming in under, pressing back of the knee into the elbow. You can actually take the hands around the feet and push the feet into the hands. And now I'm in that full forward fold. It's a little bit stiff today, not getting the full, getting a full benefit for sure, but it's not as deep as it has been in other days, which is just fine. You want to meet your body where it is in any given moment. That's really all we can do, is be present with our body, with our mind, with our emotions, so we can process, not go too far, too fast. 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, let's just bring the torso up, walk the hands back up, and come onto your back. Scooting the hips to the middle of the mat and coming down 1 elbow at a time. Bring the low back and then head to the floor. And bring the knees. Let's actually just keep the knees bent so the feet are flat to the earth. We'll draw the shoulder blade underneath and hold the palms up to the sky as you do that. And then lift the chin so it's just even with the forehead. If you have a tendency to tuck it down because we're always looking down, so look up at the ceiling with the chin, and then take the sternum towards the chin by pushing the outer edge of the shoulder and pressing into the floor. With that, push down through the feet, and your hips will likely lift off. If that's not happening, push a little stronger into the floor. I think it should be happening. One of my favorites is just to bring the arms overhead. And then keep the arms here. On your next exhale, lower the hips. And then let the arms follow. If you want to do it in tandem, you can, but my preference is just inhaling, lifting the hips, and then letting the arms float. So they're an afterthought. Exhale, hips down. The afterthought is, oh yeah, the arms need to come down too. Float the hips up, and oh yes, the arms have to float up too. And then float the hips down, and the arms follow. Push through the feet to elevate in this section and raise the arms. And then lower the section, the arms come back down. Hold here. Let's just bring the right knee into the chest. Rotate through the ankle. Go a couple of times in each direction. That's excellent. Then cross the knee together. So right knee comes over the left. You know, hug the knees in. Gomukhasana supine. I am holding the ankles because my knees are all the way up to the chest, right? So if they're out here, you may want to just take Sukhi Dhanurasana or ankle to the thigh and then pull it in. Another option is Gomukhasana. Pushing the knees into the towards the floor, at the same time widening the ankles. That's my favorite. I love it. Big release from the hips. You're going to release the feet to the floor, keeping the knee crossed, and then let the legs gently flow towards the left. The head comes to the right or looks over the right shoulder, and you can roll the head side to side. Bring the knees back to center. And we're almost there. Bring the legs to the other side. So we're wrapping left knee around the right. Hug the knees close. Ankles are wide. Full inhale. Full exhale. Release the feet to the floor. Let's take the knees over to your right. Again, release the neck and shoulder. Just we want to make sure we're not building tension. Release the jaw. One more breath. And take the knees back to center. Extend the heels to the corner pocket of your mat. With the arms stretched out to your side or even out from the shoulder. Whatever feels restful to you. And we'll take a restful, peaceful posture. Relaxing the eyelids. We call this posture Shavasana. The translation of which is corpse pose, literally. And if that's bothersome, you can call it peaceful pose, restful pose. Gentle relaxation. We're here for 2 more minutes. Allow the whole body to release and relax. Where did you find more opening and more freedom today? How would your body like to move to create more openness and freedom next time we meet? Or next time you meet your mat? The next time you have a hard conversation? Next time you feel an emotional trigger from an outside source? What would your body need to feel more open and free? For 30 more seconds, just release more deeply. You can always come back to anchoring your awareness on your breath. If you get carried away or you're not sure where to put your mind's wandering in a direction. It's creating stories. Bring your awareness to the palm of the hand, to the breath. Lengthen your in-breath. As you exhale, send it all the way through the body to the fingers and toes. The extremities are waking up. Another deep inhale. Inhale, pump the blood through the heart, through the body. Draw the knees to the chest. When you're ready at your own time, just roll to one side, either side, fetal position. Give yourself an acknowledgement, gratitude for this day, for this time. And then help yourself to a seated posture, hands to heart center. And a deep breath again, inhaling and exhaling. Now take the 3 fingers, interlace the back 3 fingers. And keep the pointer finger here and just take the thumb wide and bring the mudra to your belly. Utanga mudra or Uttari Bodhi. And breathing out. Create a feeling of strength and freedom in the body, releasing that back into Anjali Mudra. Thank you for your presence, your practice, and this journey. Deep soul beauty. Namaste.